What's up, guys? It's five-time Miss Olympia coming back with the Mutant Nation, and we are in the deep trenches of prep. So I wanted to pop in and start to give you guys some insight on what prep is like for me now that I've arrived in Arizona. The pursuit for the Miss Olympia for me really came to fruition in 2019. I was brand new to female bodybuilding, transitioning over from women's physique, and they made an announcement that the Miss Olympia was coming back to the 2020 Mr. Olympia contest, and I felt like, wow, this could be opportunity of a lifetime. Like, man, like, I think this would be a good go for me. And so I decided that, I was gonna just really see what I could do with that opportunity. And I mean, once we got past the Omaha Pro and I got qualified, I said, all right, Rising Phoenix comes up first. Let's just, see what kind of shape we can get in. And 2020 was a quirky year. Everybody knows the world was like upside down. At one point, we were 4 weeks out from the Olympia, and we switched and moved venues from Vegas to Orlando, but thank God it worked. It worked. And I think that once I got past the first one, it just became very apparent to me that this opportunity is something that, I mean, truly like only ever happens once in a lifetime. So it was like, oh, you know what? I want to keep going as long as, God willing, I can. I still feel good about it. And I tell people, as long as you still feel good about competing, then you should do it. As long as you still have like that fire, that zest, that drive, then you should do it. Because that means that, the job's not done yet. So, and I definitely still embody that. And I get excited every time I think about competing, every time I think about, getting back into diet, getting back into prep, it still excites me. And I think that part of me always wonders, how much more can I give? How much more can I do to be better? So I think that as long as you're focused on, what you can do as an athlete to get better with the opportunity that's before you, and for me, it's the Miss Olympia and the Rising Phoenix. I hold both shows in very high regard, but I feel like that's a good hallmark of sorts that you should just go all in. Don't reserve, don't hold anything back. With your energy and your efforts, right? You want to be safe about how you move, right? Because some people have a misconception that just because we look stronger as we get leaner, we're probably a bit weaker because the calories are a lot lower, but the energy output is still fairly high. So again, within reason, you guys, I always say if you don't have a coach, you should have a coach. You never want to have just your eyes on yourself, because even me, I get in my head sometimes and I'm asking, like, how do I look? Am I looking okay? Is there anything we should be working on? But again, you want to bring your best. So that's the whole point for me in competing, is just bring in the best, and then how can I be better after I feel like I've brought my best? Or in the case of the Rising Phoenix last year, I didn't bring my best, so now it's all about making a point now. I can do better, I can be better, and I want to share that journey with you guys. So yeah, the Miss Olympia pursuit for me, as long as, God willing, we keep having the contest, and I feel good about it from year to year, I want to keep doing it. And besides, what else am I gonna do? I don't have any kids yet, not married yet. And I just feel like it's a good space in life, right? I lost my job at the tail end of 2020, and I've always come back to working out and training. It's my passion. It's what I enjoy, and I see the people that I get to work with benefit from, increased energy, being off medication, playing with their grandkids. It's just a huge, joyful domino effect. I just want to share my joy with training and working out with everybody. I mean, looking back over my first Miss Olympia win, I would probably say that the biggest part of that moment that stands out in my mind is I still feel as though it was a gift that God gave me, because it was on my birthday. So it was like, I can't explain it. Like, of all the days that it could have been on, it was like the best birthday present ever. Like, ever. And it just, as you can tell, I still get very emotional about it, because it's almost like unbelievable. It's like, how do I explain it? And I stared at having I used to do these cutouts for my dream board. So I used to stare at having an Olympia gold medal for like months and days and weeks, and to have it happen on my birthday of all days in the year, during the year that the world was crazy. Joy. Just joy. I mean, I just, oh man. The first one was just, wow. But I mean, it definitely has given me some, I think, added fire when I think about each prep that I've been in thereafter. It's like how I know that this is what I 100% want to do, what I love to do. But I've had to grow and evolve over the course of each and every prep. Certain things that I used to do, like I didn't have an off-season diet for the first 2 years. And it was very easy to kind of go off the rails. I mean, no, I didn't get super heavy, but I mean, at one point I tipped the scale at like 206 pounds. And I'm like, I'm like, this doesn't feel very good, but I'm enjoying the apple pie, right? So now I'm like, okay, so I had to really kind of grow and evolve into that. And one of my best friends and posing coach, Sid Gillen, she was like, you know, I eat a certain way all year round. And I was like, I think that might not be a bad idea, right? And then it makes getting into your prep that much easier. And it's not that I don't get cheat meals, but now things are just more structured. So as structured as competing can be, I think I've really had to solidify my thoughts around there's a next level of structure that can be incorporated to make sure that you have a process for the success, right? So, but more so than anything, it's the internal pressure of, you know, the world's watching. And what are you gonna do? So like last year, coming in second at the Rising Phoenix, I felt a lot of pressure going into the Olympia. But now that I've gotten past it, I think, created a new space where I can apply more of my own pressure, control the things that I can control. Starting prep earlier this year was something that I wanted to implement. Staying on off season in a bit of a more strict way with, again, coach's approval was something that I can control. So applying that extra pressure myself or upon myself almost makes it seem as though external pressure is easier to bear. So yeah, I think that when you start, or when I start to consider, you know, how I can handle pressure, it's just all about taking control of what I can control. And if there's a way to level up that, then do that. And it's definitely made, it definitely made the last Miss Olympia win very special, because I think throughout that time, I became very aware of what I'm capable of to what point I'm willing to add on that extra pressure. I mean, who uproots their life and lives somewhere else at the drop of a dime? I mean, and I literally had days to make the decision. It was very, I mean, I got off stage at the Rising Phoenix. I only had 3 more days in the hotel, and I'm like, I either gotta go home or I'm staying here. And I gotta decide real quick. And if I'm staying here, like, what in the world does that look like? Where am I staying, right? But then again, I started to think about pros and cons. If I go home and I know I'm too comfortable at home, this outcome was not what I wanted, I need to do something different. And I can challenge myself now, or I can go back to status quo. And that made the Miss Olympia win last year that much more special. And I think I walked into it with much more gratitude. I really got to see who was willing to step up with me and for me to rise to that challenge and that occasion. One of my mentors says, in order to really enjoy certain aspects of life, you have to endure the discomfort to get to greater comfort. So when you think about it in those terms, yes, I was at a certain level of comfort with 4 Miss Olympia wins, but I had to go through a little discomfort to get to a greater level of comfort. And so that made the number 5 that much more special. But even now, I'm like, okay, coming to Arizona a little bit earlier, right? I'm a little more uncomfortable, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to the greater comfort that's on the other side of giving my best and, God willing, having the success of getting my Rising Phoenix title back and the Miss Olympia for number 6. Well, this year is definitely different because I feel like every Every time the calendar flips over, you've got a clean slate. And it's all about, all right, what's the strategy? What's the plan? What tools and tactics are we going to employ to be able to make this year better than last year? And obviously this year, yes, I feel like there's some redemption that must happen. And so it's definitely driving me. It's definitely motivating me. And I know that people appreciate and understand that the Miss Olympia title is definitely prestigious. I think that it holds the highest weight of any title in bodybuilding when it comes to a Mr. or Mrs. Olympia. But for me, the Rising Phoenix, I get more nervous for the Rising Phoenix than I do the Olympia. Because I look at the Rising Phoenix as, and I always have, looked at it as my benchmark for what I'm going to need to work on for the weeks in between the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia. So that show for me is important because if I give my very best effort to that, then there's only just a little more moving of the needle that needs to happen for the Olympia. I mean, the Olympia stage is unlike any stage. The lights are brighter. The energy is higher. It's the most magical experience of any bodybuilder's lifetime. There's no stage like it. And you know where you are that moment that you step out there. It is the biggest stage in the world. I still get nervous, but it's such a rush. And when you know that you've done your work, right? There's a certain like almost visceral experience. It's like you feel it in your body, like you feel that energy. And it's like, you know, you're lean, you're most fit, right? You've done all the work, you've done all the posing, you've done all the stretching, all the ice baths, all the things. And this moment, this is your moment to shine. That part for me is just priceless.